everyone. Yesterday I went to Barnes and Nobles, and I just want to make a quick review about Barnes and Nobles. I will say that that's one of my favorite bookstores. I love, like, when you walk in, that feeling you get, that vibe you get. I love it. The only reason why I say I don't always go there and I don't buy books there is because it is expensive. And actually, the last time I went was about a year ago. I haven't been there in a long time. And they have a new membership thing, and I decided to get it because I had some money. I said I'm gonna get it because every once in a while I could go there and buy things to get the points, get some extra money, and hopefully I can receive free stuff. So I went yesterday because if with every membership you get a free bag. I wanted to show off the bag they are giving out this year. I actually thought it was going to be the same bag as the one before. The last one I got was a black one with gold letters, and that one's really nice. I thought it was going to be the same one, but like a different color, because they let you pick the color, but it's actually a different one. It's a different design. It's really nice and strong, which I like because whenever you have books, they're so heavy. And it has a little compartment inside right here, so you can put things in there. It also has these things on the side that I think they're for your water bottle or an umbrella. I live in Phoenix, so even though you might think, well, it never rains there, I have an umbrella for the sun because it gets really hot. And when I was there, I was just browsing around. I did go there specifically looking for a book. I could have ordered it and they would have it waiting for me, but sometimes I want to get there, find the book, and buy it on the spot. That's why I went there. And when I went there, the Barnes and Nobles that I went to has a Starbucks in there. So I got something from Starbucks. I really like the grilled cheese and the, the mango dragon fruit lemonade refresher. And this is why I'm here. So like I said at the beginning, like I was saying, Barnes and Nobles, it's a bit pricey. Maybe that's why a lot of us don't go there. I usually go to thrift stores to find books. Most of my books here, these are brand new from Costco. These are thrift stores. This one's from Barnes and Nobles, and these are from Barnes and Nobles. So I do have Barnes and Nobles, but I will say the majority are from thrift stores and from anywhere that sells them cheaper than Barnes and Nobles. And I want to say I love Barnes and Nobles, but it sometimes is out of my price range, and that's just the truth. I can love it, but you're expensive, so that's just how it is. But I went there yesterday and I got me a drink and a grilled cheese sandwich from there because that's the one I like. It was like my special treat yesterday that I went there. I said, I'm going to buy a book and I'm going to buy some expensive Starbucks because Starbucks, you're also very expensive. And they gave me my sandwich in this box, like when you go and order food from like a taco shop and you get those boxes like that. And I saw the sandwich and I went, this is not the sandwich from Starbucks. And I'm going to give it a bad rating. I'm sorry. It wasn't like bad. But you know, in Starbucks, I think when you order the sandwich, it's like on sourdough bread and the cheese tastes really good. This grilled cheese sandwich tasted almost like the ones I make at home. The only difference is that when I make them at home, I put some kind of flavor on the bread so that the bread tastes good when you toast it. This had no flavor. I did not like the taste of the bread. I did not like the cheese. And if I had seen that it wasn't the same sandwich from the Starbucks, I wouldn't have gotten it because it's expensive. So it wasn't good. I'm really gonna give it 2 stars out of 5 because it wasn't good and it didn't have a nice taste. It was like, it was fine. But I was really disappointed because I don't always go to Starbucks. I go sometimes and I like the grilled cheese and it didn't taste the way I liked it. And I was mad because it wasn't the way I wanted it. Oh, but something else that happened while I was at the Starbucks, they had this thing where they had like these books on the side, and they say that if you order anything from Starbucks, you can get the book for $5. And thinking about it, maybe I shouldn't have gotten it because maybe it wasn't a good price. But I got carried away because I had some money in my pocket and I said, I came here to spend it. And I bought the book. Let me show you the book. I still haven't read it. And I'm probably not going to read it soon because I'm looking over there because that's where I have all the books that I'm intending to read, and they're in order. Whenever I buy books, I have books that I get and I just put on this shelf. If I ever just need to read and I don't want to read from like something planned, I just pick something from here that I haven't read, take it out, read it. And then I have another like small shelf on top of my vintage desk that I got a long time ago. I have this vintage desk that like opens like this and everything's hidden inside, and on top is a shelf. That's where I keep the books. Those are the books that I put in order of when I finish these, because let me tell you, I have another shelf on top of my bed of the books I'm reading. This is the shelf in the back of the desk of the books I'm going to read. And then if I ever have a book that I like, I put it there. So I go, when I read this book, when I finish this, I'll get one from here. And on top of this bookshelf is another shelf of books that I want to read, and they're there. So when I finish that one, I pick one from there. And I don't know if everybody that reads books is as crazy as me, or am I the only crazy one that has books that I'm reading. And that's the other thing. I think I read like 3 or 5 books at the time. And I don't know, do you guys do that too? And the way I do it is every morning I like to read a couple chapters. At night I like to read. And then I have books that are like seasonal. So if it's summer, I'm going to read this book. If it's spring, I'm going to read this book. And then I have reading book lists where it's like, these are the books that I want to read. Right now, the list is, I'm reading all of the Suki Stackhouse books again. And I'm also reading the books by Anne Rice, all of the vampire books, because I haven't read all of them. And I really enjoy the show. I'm reading the books. I'm realizing that the show and the books are two different things. So there was no point in me doing that. But I'm right now I'm reading Interview with the Vampire. I'm reading these books, which are the Book of Life books. What are they called? Oh, here. I have the cover here. I always put it, this one, Black Bird Oracle by Deborah Harkness. This is the other book I'm reading. I always take this off the book because it always gets in the way, and I leave it in the bookshelf where the book's gonna go, because those are the nice books. And I have that book I'm reading, the Interview with the Vampire books, and then I also like to read short books. Like I said, am I crazy or do we all do this? I'm also trying to collect and read all of the Goosebump books from 1 to wherever it goes. And I'm only reading the vintage books that I would have read when I was little, not the newer stuff. So it's not all of them. And then once I get through all those books, I sometimes go, oh, I want to read this book that I haven't been in the show. It's crazy, but I have a whole bunch of books. And this is the book that they were selling for $5 if you buy something at Starbucks. Let me show it to you. It's really pretty. And I know, you know how they say, don't judge a book by its cover. I always judge it by its cover. It's called The Vanishing Cherry Blossom Bookshop. It's so pretty. It's shimmering. It has the sakura flowers. There's a little shop. When I saw it, I said, this is a book you read when it's raining and it's nice. And it might have been, it says it costs $12.99, so it was for $5. I got it, and then because I'm a member of the Starbucks, I think it went down a little bit, so I'm not gonna regret it. I got it, it's here, and I'm gonna add it to the books that I'm gonna read now. Cause look at the cover. This book, I think, deals with the different seasons. But the cover looks very spring. And it's spring right now. So I'm going to put it in the front and read it when I finish the Goosebump books that I'm reading. So I'm going to put this book in the books I'm reading next. After I read the Goosebump books. The Goosebump books are for kids. So I read them really quickly. And I really love them. I said in a previous video how much I love R.L. Stine. R.L. Stine is such a great author because his books are like this small and he writes so much and it's like a full story. I really admire that. And actually I had planned that when I was reading the books I was going to watch the show, but that gets too much trouble because then I watch the show, read the books. It was too much of a mess. I stopped doing that. I'm just reading the books. And like I said, I'm going to read this one after that one. But the book that I actually went to buy, this book showed up, I think, on my TikTok videos. And it showed up as a anime. And so it's a show that already exists based off the I always forget what these things are called. The books that are based, why can I say it? The anime show is based off these books. These books are the ones that you see in Japan. Sorry, I'm shaking everything. I'm really intense. And I really like the trailer for the show. I tried looking for it because I want to see it. I could see it if I buy, I think, the app where they have all the anime shows, but sometimes they lie to you. You get like the subscription. You look for the show you want to see because that's why you got it, and then they go, oh, we don't have that show, and you're like, well, the only reason why I got it was to see it and you don't have it. So I said hopefully it might show up later on Netflix because I have Netflix, or Disney Plus because I have that. Sometimes that happens. I'm looking for a show and it shows up, so I'm like, I'm not going to get that application. I'm just going to wait and see if it shows up. But what I did say is I'm going to read the first book in the series because it's a big series. And I went to another Barnes & Nobles, a new one. It's a 2-story Barnes & Nobles with the Starbucks. The first time I went there, I walked in and I left because I get really bad anxiety when there's too many people. And when I walked into the store, there was a huge line at the register, and there were kids everywhere, and there was people everywhere. And I'm also gonna, like I said, I like to tell you guys the truth. Yes, I get anxiety when I go to places where there's a lot of people. It's something that I've always had. Like, I need to, like, go to a corner and gather myself a little bit before I continue. But that Barnes & Nobles in that neighborhood is also known for being a little, I don't want to say racist or mean, but I also don't want to say it. And it's getting better. Back when I was little, there used to be a Borders on the other side of that street. I'm not going to say streets. I'm not going to tell you where it is in case you live in Phoenix. But I remember there used to be a Borders in that neighborhood. I used to go there all the time. And every single time something would happen where a person working there would treat me a certain way that would make me feel bad. And I hated going there. But the reason why I would go was because I was in English AP in high school. And sometimes I would actually get, we would have to buy a book and read it for class or something. And that was the best place to get them cheap, Borders, compared to Barnes & Nobles. And I remember that's the only one that was nearby, so I would always go there to buy my books. And I remember there was always something going on. I have another story. One time my mom wanted to go to Victoria's Secret that was in that area. It's not there anymore. And we had like a pretty woman moment. We walked in there and my mom was looking at the stuff. And she was looking at stuff. I was like in the corner like this, you know, because I'm in a store full of bras and you're a guy. You're like, why am I here? And she found something she liked. And she said, can you tell the lady if she has it in my size? Because my mom only speaks Spanish. And I went to the lady to ask her. You know what she said? She said, it's too expensive. And I was like, and I remember I was like 17, 18. But you know when you're even older, sometimes when adults come at you a certain way, you kind of do this, like you feel like a little kid. And I remember thinking, oh, okay. And I told my mom, she said it's too expensive. And my mom's like, I know how much it costs. I'm asking her if she has my size. And then we asked her again, do you have this in this size? And she was like, she did like that. We only have what's there. And then we kind of both got the feeling that they didn't want us there, so we just left. And then we should have come back with a whole bunch of Victoria's Secret bags. Big mistake, big. But we didn't. We just never went back. And I'm gonna say, since that happened, now it's a little better. But every once in a while, you go to that neighborhood, and they do treat you a little bad. And sadly, because of who's in the White House now and the way people treat you, when they can tell that you are another nationality, you speak Spanish, you look Mexican, they don't care if you are born here. They don't care if maybe your whole family has lived in Arizona your whole life. They're like, I don't care, you don't belong here. And sadly, we get that treatment in that area. And when I went to that Barnes and Nobles, it just gave me that vibe again. And at the same time, it could have just been my anxiety. I always try to say, was it me, or was it the place? But it in that neighborhood, it happens every once in a while. There's also a Michael's there. I've been to that Michael's many times. They treat me very well. And then every once in a while, there's an employee or somebody that's there shopping that does that to me. That makes me feel like I shouldn't be there. And it's like, whatever. But the Barnes and Nobles I went to yesterday is a great Barnes and Nobles. It's the one, if you, like I said, I don't want to give out names, but if you live in Phoenix, that Barnes and Nobles is the one that's right next to the mall that's now just hills because they tore it down and there's all the rubble there. That Barnes and Nobles, they treat me well. They're very kind, they're very friendly. And actually, when I went there looking for the book that I was going to find, they had the first book and I bought it. I don't think this is an adult book. That's the other thing. Because I know some of these Japanese books can sometimes be for adults. They look... Because we all know that. If you read manga, you know that that's how it is. Sometimes it's for adults. So I don't know. But I don't think it is. I looked through it, like skimmed through it. It looks like it's just a romantic book. And this is the show that I saw that I wanted to see. I couldn't see it, so I went and get the book. I got the first one. If I like it, I'll continue looking for the series. And then eventually I'll watch the show. I think it's always better to read the book anyway. And here it is. Let me read the name of the book first because it's so long. It says, Cherry Magic. 30 years of virginity can make you a wizard. It's such a long name, and I feel that this is one of those books that I won't be reading in public because they're gonna say, what is he reading? But here it is. This is the first book. And it looks to me like it's just a funny romantic series. But it has such a long name and such a weird name. I was gonna say a queer name, and that's what it is. But I think I'm gonna enjoy it. I never read manga before. If you guys haven't read it, it's usually like this, black and white. It's like the comic books where there's a little bubble. And of course, when you read these books, you start from the back, not from the front. And I remember a long time ago, I was gonna start reading the Naruto series. And whenever you would open the book, if you open it from this side, they would say, stop. This is the wrong side. You have to start from this side. These don't say that anymore because they expect you to just know. They're so popular. If you go to Barnes and Nobles, there's like a whole area just of these books. And this is one of the ones that I wanted. I'm going to read it, like I said, with all of my sections of books. This one I'm going to put in the front section because I really want to read this one first. This one is going to go a little bit towards the back. And then I'll do the review for these. But like I said, with my book reviews, I'm really behind. And I'm only planning on doing a review once a week because it takes me so long to do the review and to edit it. And even though with the reviews, I don't put any flashy stuff on it, I still have to look through it, make sure everything sounds right, and make sure it's presentable. But so maybe I'll read this book. Oh, but that's another thing I want to tell you. If you guys want to see what books I'm reading right now and finishing right now, follow me on my Instagram account, Walking Through Books. Because there I always take a little picture and I put a small short review on there. And you could also follow me on Goodreads. That's the page that I keep up more because it's just writing. I don't have to film myself or anything like that. But if you want to see my review, you can follow, subscribe, so you can see me talking about the book in person. And I think that's all I wanted to talk to you about. So I got these 2 books, which I'm excited to read. I got the bag. I got the Starbucks and the sandwich that I'm complaining about. But that Barnes & Nobles is great. They treat me well. This video was supposed to be a really short video. It's not short anymore. So thank you so much for watching. And come back for more, because I'm doing... I think my next video is going to be a short video about music. And so thank you so much. Remember to keep on reading, keep your eyes on the screen, and vibe to the music. Bye.